possible, and try to eliminate as many variables that could get in the way of that. I think the variable that we're not sure of is if it's actually 95, 96 degrees here, and we know that it can be pretty sticky when it gets warmer in Baltimore. So I think that all of them are going to have to deal with that. But he's a big horse coming off, turning back in 14 days. So just make sure he's drinking plenty of water and hydrated, just like your kids.
What did you see from him this morning on the racetrack?
I think that's the thing about Epicenter. What'd you see? More of the same. He's been beautifully consistent in his training. I thought that was remarkable in its in leading up to the Derby, how consistent he looked the week out as he did a month out.
This has been a great place in your career. I mean, when you think back to the 2007, 2009, what are the memories that maybe stand out?
Well, absolutely. You mentioned it there. Here at Pimlico, Curlin's Preakness victory over the Derby winner was such a great race that day, and the photo finish, and just it's the moment when they put his number up. You thought he won when they went under the wire, but until they put the numbers up, we've all been mistaken about photos in the past. But that was an extremely special and monumental in our professional career.
And then what about the Rachel week?
Rachel is, it's separate from everything else. I've been involved with great horses, but the experience with Rachel was when you walked out of the barn, you never felt that percentage of people truly, honestly rooting for one horse. It was Rachel against everybody, and everybody seemed to be on Rachel's side, and we were along for the ride. That was a wonderful, unique experience to be a part of.
What is it about the Preakness and fillies?
Probably they're tougher than they get credit for, and just the resilience that got them there to begin with. And Wayne and that filly, and just how unique that situation and how special that situation is. Wayne, his tender age, it's a beautiful thing and a great story. And I think we've all known it and said it. What horses can do for you that you can't do for yourself.
Wayne said yesterday that he apologized to you for taking his horse out of the Derby.
Right? Yeah. It's kind of like Godzilla stepping on mice, If he just quit missing his feet, I could get around it, right? Wayne's a very special person in horse racing, beyond iconic, and everything that he is, in his positive attitude and everything that he has accomplished and continues to do so, so it's a lot to go up against,
Do you see yourself training at 86 and still getting on the podium?
It's inspirational, and I hope to be. I have a long-time connection with Wayne through my parents. They're lifelong friends. Grew up knowing Wayne as my parents' friend, and you cannot believe how encouraging, how positive he is, how helpful he is to young people or anybody coming up consistently. Just nothing negative, all positive, all forward. What are we going to do next? And I would far more impressive than him training at 86 and getting on the pony is his consistent attitude and how positive he's always been about horse racing.
Knowing he's still got more work to do, where does Epicenter rank with some of the other great horses you've had?
That comes into question, and did leading into the Derby, but how they finish their career is what defines them, and hopefully and expectedly, Epicenter's just in the middle of his career.
When you chose the Louisiana Derby, does that help ultimately to make the Preakness available to you? That you're not as hesitant about the 2-week turnaround?
I really, yes, I do. Because of the consistency of the program, staying in one place, throwing a lot of variables out as far as travel over a period of time, and the foundation that you're allowed to create because of the surface there, because of the weather, I think puts you in a physical, mental position that he's acting the way that he is off of a very tough circumstances of the Derby. And I think that it's vital to getting here in this physical and mental shape, yes.
Steve, in his 7-race career, he's run races on only Churchill Downs and Fairgrounds. Do you see anything, the way he's acting or handling the track here at Pimlico, that might be different?
I like how he settled in, how he looked over the racetrack. I thought that's what we were concerned of coming in here, because of the fact that he'd been at Churchill and he'd been at the Fairgrounds, and it was basically he was at home when he ran in all of his previous races. This will be new as far as running, but from what we've seen on the 2 days he's been on the racetrack, and his demeanor in the stall has been consistent. His appetite has been the same. He's cleaned up. He's been very relaxed going to the track. He's looked very lively on the racetrack, and he's cooled out very comfortably. So I think he's settled in extremely well, but that is a variable that we were concerned about coming in.
How does not having the Derby winner here change the mood?
I think that you guys would have a way better line on that than I do. With us, we're concerned about the things we have control over, the condition of our horse and getting another top-level performance out of him. I think, from this year's results in the Derby, you won't take anybody for granted, and you'll consistently try to cover your bases as far as being prepared for everything.
Speaking of covering your bases and being prepared for everything, will he school between the races?
He schools in the 5th race today.
And then will he go to the school in the gate tomorrow?
Tomorrow he will.